Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, CenterStrain01, and I have for you something very special today, my first ever unboxing slash review of a part of my Superman collection. That's right, I just received this in the mail from Toink.com. They are a seller on eBay, and I'm very excited to get into this. This is actually a Kotobukiya, the Man of Steel ArtFX statue, 10.5 inches. And let me tell you, it looks absolutely amazing. If you want the best prices for these kind of action figures, statue, busts, whatever your heart desires, I definitely recommend checking out Toink.com on eBay, as they're an amazing seller with great prices. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the review. It's go time. Last year's summer blockbuster, The Man of Steel, which starred Henry Cavill as Superman himself, was a huge hit, of course, to me and to all my friends who are huge Superman fans. This was definitely something that we have been wanting for quite a while. So when I heard that they were going to be coming out with new action figures, new statues and things based on the likeness of Henry Cavill, as well as the detail of the suit, a kind of a change of pace from the old Christopher Reeve era, where Christopher Reeve is always going to remain in my heart the number one Superman. Of course, he is the Superman of my generation. I'm 30 years old right now, so of course I grew up to watching him on the screen, as well as watching Tom Welling on Smallville. Those two are my favorite, but definitely I think just like with Daniel Craig, who took over the James Bond series, I can definitely feel that Henry Cavill has that just essence about him that really is going to start maybe changing my mind in the future once I see him in more Superman roles and I see more sequels and Justice League movies and things like that. So this Man of Steel statue, because it's always kind of a debate. Obviously, a statue is something that really doesn't move and just stays in one place. As an action figure is something that you can usually articulate with different movements and whatnot. So as you can see, this is the ArtFX statue, which is from Kotobukiya, however you want to pronounce that. This is my first Kotobukiya, and I do plan on getting some more statues, as I am completely just amazed and blown away by the precision, obviously the detail and everything that is actually involved in this. Now, as you can see in the box, definitely not a bad box. Obviously a little plasticky. It's definitely got some good pictures on it, some good details of actually what you're going to get inside. Now also, you don't really see it, but inside the box there's actually kind of a little scene that is taking place inside. So say if you wanted to display this statue inside this case, it is something that you can actually do, because behind it is kind of a little backdrop of the Man of Steel. So let's go ahead and take a look. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, just simply amazing. Again, this is the only pose that you're going to get from this statue, but it is what, to me, looks like one of the most amazing statues that I've ever seen as far as anything goes. Now, granted, I'm newer to the whole collecting of action figures and statues kind of market, and Superman being my favorite out of any DC universe or any kind of comic book character or anything like that. Now, a little back history for me, I'm actually in the United States military, and when I deployed to Afghanistan, one of the things that just kept my mind in the right spot, that kept me wanting to come back to America and really kind of feel with pride, was the series Smallville, watching all the Superman films from Christopher Reeve. As to me, Superman has always been about someone who believes in helping others who can't, someone who fights for others. And I feel that with my specific job in the military and being in the military in general, that I really kind of have a feeling for that character more than, say, a lot of other people. So Superman to me is very special, and I do collect a lot of things with Superman. I have Superman tattoos. I have just everything that you can think of, and of course I'm getting more and more every day. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of back history into why I collect stuff like this and why I feel that it is important to me, as it is more of a symbolism. As Superman in the new movie said, the S is just not an S. It actually stands for hope. There's meaning behind these characters that we fall in love with, these comic book characters. There's always something more deeper that the true comic book hero, the true person who watches these movies and enjoys them, really gets to understand. Now we're going to get back to the statue here. As you can see, it's simply amazing. The detail on this is just the best I've ever seen. This cape is amazing. It actually feels kind of, if you want to think, if anyone has ever felt like a Santa Claus kind of a suit, that's the feel the cape has, and it has a wire in it, so you can actually mold and do what you want. So as with most action figures, you're able to articulate the legs, the head, you can swivel a little bit, you can get them into flying poses and things like that. Where this one, the only thing that you can articulate is the cape itself, but you can actually do whatever you want with the cape. You can get it into like kind of a flying pose, whatever you want to do. It's just something that really just makes the statue stand out a little bit more. And as you can see with the lighting, the head sculpture is just absolutely amazing, from the butt chin to the nose to the eyes, how blue they are. Of course, the hair as well. The detail on it is very good. The only complaint I would have to say is I think the painting could have been a little bit more work, as you'll notice that there are a little bit of paint breaks in the actual neckline and whatnot. But other than that, it's not too bad. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show the statue how it looks in kind of a different light. So as you can see, this is something a little bit more brighter in a different kind of an area. So it just really depends on where you want to display this figure, as kind of you're going to get the most out of it. Obviously, light really brings a lot of effect to any type of action figure, statue, or whatever it is. And the base itself is a pretty hefty size base. It's kind of plasticky or whatever, but below the feet there's a little spot where you can actually kind of put it on, and it actually stays right there. So when you lift it up, you actually lift up the base and Superman himself. So it's not like it automatically comes out. It's actually a good grip that gets inside, and it stays there, so you can move it around freely without worried about it falling off of the case itself. The detail in the boots, the detail in the suit is just like it is in the actual movie. As you can see here, I've got the picture of how the developers of this made us to think how it was going to look like. I wanted to see, can I get him in kind of that specific pose that you get from one of the pictures? And as you can see, it looks to the T exactly like it does. Obviously, they've got better lighting than I'm going to have, but if you look at the detail in the face, you look at the detail in the suit, the hands, everything like that, it's spot on. So obviously they make hundreds, if not thousands, of these, and I gotta say, wow, I mean, I cannot believe how amazing this is. Koto is just one of the most amazing sculptors, and I'm blown away. For someone who is new to this kind of thing, this really just, it kind of motivates me and pumps me up, and it makes me realize every day why I'm in the military. Just something that I get to display and come home to, and I'm just like, this is I know exactly the reason why I do what I do, and it's just so amazing. And of course, with the cape, like I said, that's the only thing that you can really articulate, so you can bend it to any kind of shape that you want. You kind of have to mess with it a little bit, but you will be able to get it into definitely a lot of different poses, as you can go with like kind of flying, or maybe he's just got into a fight. But as far as everything else, it's always going to be in that same general location, because this is a statue as opposed to something that can actually move around. This is just mainly obviously for show, and as you can see, the detail on the back of the suit, they got it, to me it's just so perfect. Okay, now I remember when the movie came out, I was like, I don't know if I like the suit as much. I was such an iconic Superman fan that the Christopher Reeve suit was like, there's no way they can get any better than that. Okay, they tried to change it up a little bit in Superman Returns, and I definitely did not like how they did that. The Superman logo was smaller, but the detail on this is just simply amazing. Now, obviously, you can see that the hands there, they were just a little bit kind of scuffed, so maybe a paint job that I could do could actually fix that, so it's not too big of a deal for me, as I'm not too particular. But as you can see, there are little creases and stuff that maybe you want to kind of paint over if you have the opportunity and the chance to, but just the time and effort that obviously it took into sculpting this is just simply amazing. I love the little butt chin that he has. I have a little butt chin, and that kind of, it sets it apart. Now, one of the biggest gripes that I have is you can see the neckline. You can see there's kind of like a scratch all the way down, but if you paint over it, I'm thinking that it should go away. However, I don't know if anyone else has had this problem on theirs. Maybe it's just something that happened during shipping or when they were putting it together. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal for me, because it is something that I feel that I could fix or not have to worry too much about. So I want to show you what it actually looks like pretty much from a standing up point. So if you're standing up, you can see that he's looking pretty much straight down. So obviously when you display this statue, you want to make sure that you get him nice and high, because right now I'm on my knees, and it is just because he's looking kind of straight down. So you really need to make sure that you get him up there high. Now, this is a scale figure. This is a 6-inch Superman from the Doomsday. You actually get Doomsday with this. I'll plan on doing a review for this in the Doomsday action figure as well, but you can just kind of see the scale and the detail that went into this. Now, this is obviously something that's definitely made out of cheaper material as opposed to the Man of Steel, but the look just blows you away when you try to compare these two. It's just not comparable. The suit is really starting to grow on me, and I'm really liking it more and more. Now, the suit is actually just kind of built into the actual statue itself. It's not like a separate suit that you would normally get with things like Hot Toys and that such. And of course, when you just get it in that perfect lighting, it's just, the detail on the face is just so amazing. I can feel, not feel, but I can totally see like the wetness of the lips, and just, you know, not that that's a cool thing you want to look at, but just the obviously the closer to Henry Cavill that you can get, the better the statue, the better the action figure. So I'm very, very pleased with how this looks. I did not actually expect this to be as good as it is, especially for the price. It is half the price of what you get with Hot Toys, but it's, to me, it's not a dead-on likeness of Henry Cavill, but is definitely close enough for your hard-earned money. This is going to cost you anywhere between $100 to $130, so I definitely recommend picking this up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace out, bitches!